Hi everybody and welcome to episode 5 of the Tactics Board. And of course, it's been the international break. There's been no Premier League football for us to talk about. However, there is still loads going on that could affect your team and your picks, and also what you could be doing with your team as well just now, because I'm going to find out in a minute about Karl, but I have overhauled. So we're going to have a chat about that as well. Karl, hiya, how has the international break been for you?
It's been all right. I mean, when you get into fantasy football and it's not here one weekend, you're like, oh my God, it really affects you big time. But I've done my overhaul, so I kind of feel...
Oh, you overhauled too?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just enjoy it so much. I just like tinkering. So I'm still not going to finalise it. We're filming this earlier on. I'm still not going to finalise it to the very last moment. But yeah.
Really?
Yeah, purrs. Have you done yours? Yeah.
Yeah, I've overhauled, but I think you're right because of the... some of the situations in the world right now. I don't know if they've made a decision about these Brazilian players and also any injuries on that picking up from the internationals that are still to be played as well. So yeah, I think you're right. But how have you found England's internationals?
Good. I think it's always strange, isn't it? Especially after the type of tournament that we had. Everyone's just now leading up to Qatar 2022 and thinking, oh, are we going to win the World Cup? Is that the next stage? Because if you look at it from our progression in 2018, we got to a semi-final. 2021, we obviously got to a Euro final. And to me, that says that England aren't far away at all. And I think that in both of those games, there's similarities in the sense that we went in front earlier on and we controlled the game, but then we slowly lost the grip of the game and ended up getting beat. And I think that pattern's got to change. And these games against the lower sides and obviously Poland as well tonight, they don't do it for me. I'm going to be honest.
I know, yeah. I don't know. I've got zero sympathy for you. I love that you're excited about your progression of semi-finals and then finals. And for Scotland, I am ecstatic today. We won an away game.
Yeah, so penalty as well.
We beat Austria. It is like me and my dad are still like slightly in shock about it. And my dad today said to me, "We're in second in the league." We're in second, and I was like, "No way, we're in second."
It's in your hands now, isn't it? So you could do it, couldn't you? Do you think you can?
Big game against Israel in the next one in October. But yeah, it's insane. Although I think that only gets us into the playoffs. But you know.
Well, imagine back-to-back tournaments for Scotland.
No, I can't. Don't. It's too exciting. I can't. Oh, wow, but anyway, other exciting things are of course our league, and if you aren't a member, if you've not joined our league yet, you can. It's still, what are you doing? It's still open. So our Sky Sports Fantasy League, the code is 9976717. Now, if you haven't joined yet, you can still join, because we do give weekly spot prizes out throughout the year. So it doesn't matter if you're maybe not top of the league, but if you get the highest score one week, you've got a chance of winning some great prizes. So do get in there and get involved in our league. Now, it's going to be slightly different this week, because our ones to watch are going to be new players to the league, or players that you might not know about that you're thinking about, and obviously some of the really obvious ones, and that'll make sense in a minute, because yeah, I'll just let you go, shall I? Shall I just let you talk about the first one, and I'll just sit here bored?
You can do if you want. Cristiano Ronaldo is the first one, isn't it? And I mean, it's pointless for you to say he's great. It's like saying the grass is green. It's just like, what's the point? We all know he's great. But in fantasy football terms, like I said last week, he's cheaper than Harry Kane. He's cheaper than Mohamed Salah. And like you said last week, Natalie, Ronaldo is more than likely going to be on penalties, isn't he? He's more than likely going to take them penalties from Bruno Fernandes.
Do you still think that?
I think he might, because Bruno Fernandes has given penalties away for his national side once or twice, given the ball to someone else. I think he's done it for United as well. He gave it once to Rashford. So I think he's a proper team player, Bruno Fernandes, and I think Ronaldo will take him. In terms of,
the one that he missed, obviously, in the international, and the 19-year-old on loan City goalkeeper that saved his penalty.
I mean, he missed, but then he did score 2, didn't he? So I don't know. But in terms of United, there's good fixtures coming up. But my only reservation about putting Cristiano Ronaldo in your team, and this is ridiculous because he's in my team anyway, is will he start against Newcastle? I know that 99.9% of United fans would love him at start, but I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer will be a bit more considered in his approach and kind of ease him into it a little bit. I don't know if he'll start.
Do you know what? I was thinking about this yesterday and laughing because you heard some people, I read on Twitter or on sort of somewhere that somebody's paid £4,000 for a ticket. So he's been picked by 13.55% of players. Are you thinking there might have been more, Karl?
Yes, but I think that percentage will increase throughout the season. I think a few people probably have some reservations in the sense that will he start, and they want to see after the first few games what the formation will be, because United now have got an abundance of strikers and forwards: Cavani, Ronaldo, Greenwood, Sancho, Jesse Lingard, Rashford when he comes back. Like, who's going to play? But I think they're going to play Ronaldo more often than not, if I'm honest.
So we might see that once people get a feeling of will he be starting, we might see that 13% of people that are selected.
Yeah, I think he'll shoot up. Yeah.
High. And you've got Newcastle at home, then West Ham away, Aston Villa at home. So yeah, a decent start for Cristiano if he does start. And then the next man on our one to watch list is a man that made way for Cristiano Ronaldo in some ways. I feel like that might be giving him a massive compliment. Shall I let you talk about Dan James?
Yeah, I can talk about Dan James. Yeah, you're right. He obviously moved from Manchester United to Leeds United, didn't he? And I loved him at United. I really did. But I think when push comes to shove, United just have better forward options. Will he start straight away for Leeds and Bielsa? I'm not sure he will. Probably not, because he's got to get used to Bielsa's way of playing. And I think Bielsa's way of playing is so intense that takes a little bit of a time period of transition for him. He's £7.7 million in the game. And for me, there are other cheaper guaranteed starters. So you've got Conor Gallagher for Crystal Palace. You've got Sergi Canos from Brentford. You've got Zuma from Brighton. So I personally wouldn't put Dan James in my team just yet.
Yeah. Do you think he might? I think the thing with Dan James is, like how Jesse Lingard went to West Ham last season and had a stormer because it was almost like he had something to prove to United and United fans. Do you think there's any chance that Dan James might go to Leeds and absolutely have a stormer?
Oh, yeah. No, I think he'll be great. I honestly do think he'll be great. A player like that with that sort of pace on Bielsa's team, I think he'll be great. But I just think it takes a bit to settle into. It's a different style of play. And Bielsa's so intense. I think he's got to get warmed up to that. And I think he will do really, really well. I hope he does. I honestly do hope he does. He's a good lad. He put everything in for United whenever he played. There's better players than him, and it's cruel that, isn't it? But that's football for you, really.
So he's only been selected by 0.72% of players. I feel like that's probably like his mom, his brother, his dad, his best friends.
Yeah, very true, very true.
Because it does seem a lot for the minute when we don't, again, got to see how he settles, see if he starts. But if you've got him and he has a smasher next week, then you can laugh at us, send us some messages, send a message to me for saying that. Also, Leeds have got Liverpool at home, Newcastle away and West Ham at home. So some tough fixtures there.
Mm-hmm.
Break him in as well. Right, who is next on our list, Karl?
Odsonne Edouard, who's gone from, I think he started at PSG, then to Celtic, now he's at Palace. He was linked with Arsenal, he was linked with Leicester. And I think Palace have struggled for quite a while to get goals, but he scored for fun at Celtic. But again, this is similar. There's like other cheaper options that you can get, like Timo Pukki at Norwich, like Dennis at Watford. He's £7.7 million, Odsonne Edouard. And I just think he could go one way or the other, couldn't he? He could obviously start bagging left, right and centre for Crystal Palace, or he could take a while to get going. So, again...
he did. You're right, at Celtic, he did have an absolute smash. I mean, he was the Scottish Football Writers, I think it was, or one of the end of year awards, Player of the Season, only 2 seasons ago. He's got an incredible goal record, 86 out of 179 appearances for Celtic. So he certainly knows where the back of the net is, but I guess it is translating it and getting used to, going from the Scottish Premiership to the English Premier League, and how quickly he might settle in. They've got Spurs away, Liverpool away, Spurs at home, Liverpool away, Palace at home?
they haven't
That's wrong on my list. They're playing themselves.
Either way, the next 2 games, Spurs at home and Liverpool away. Do you know what I mean? They're tough fixtures. Spurs' defence have done really well this season, so have Liverpool. So either way, he's up against it, isn't he? Because I watched him in the Old Firm derby that's just gone, and he didn't. To be fair, he didn't look great, but I think that's probably because he knew he was going on a move, and he kind of had that in his mind, which isn't great, but yeah.
I was just looking to see who's kind of around him. Tony, who we both had at the start of the season, is about the same price as him. Benteke, Welbeck, Alan Armstrong at Southampton is about the same price. Obviously, he had a stormer in the Championship, and like you say, Pookie as well. So there's a lot of options around that price. So I'm not surprised that only 0.1% of people have him at this point. But also, I wouldn't be surprised if he started banging the goals in either.
Yeah, very true. Let's move on, shall we, now to the next one, Kurt Zuma, Natalie. Kurt Zuma, he seems like he's been around for ages, Kurt Zuma.
Yeah.
And he's still only young. I think he is a good addition to West Ham. Obviously, he's moved from Chelsea to West Ham. But at what cost? There was issues before he was moving on wages and that type of thing. I think he's on like 125 grand a week. Could that disrupt the dressing room? Potentially. But Zuma, if you look at him in terms of football, Zuma played really well for France recently during this international break. And in the actual game in fantasy football, he's only £8.2 million. And he's going to play every single game for West Ham, in my opinion, because they're not going to spend all that money on someone and not playing week in, week out, are they?
I can't believe it. I was so shocked when I heard that he'd gone from Chelsea, because it's not like he didn't play at Chelsea. He played 36 games last season for Chelsea.
Yeah. So
he is a really good, solid defender. I think my only question at the minute is, obviously, West Ham's first 3 games, they've conceded 5 goals. So I think my question at the minute would not be around him, but would be more around the West Ham defence in general. And just, I think before I brought him in, I'd want to see if they settled down a bit. And they've got Southampton away, United at home, Leeds away. So yeah, United, a couple of tricky games there at the start as well. So 1.24% of people. Do you expect that'll go up during the season?
I think it probably will. If West Ham carry on the run of form that they're on, I think it will go up, because this week you'll see in a bit, I put some West Ham players in my team, and I think it's just if West Ham can keep that run of form going throughout the season, really.
I hope they do. I've got a real soft spot for West Ham. I think I've got a soft spot for David Moyes, purely because, and I say it quite often, the crappy way that you lot treated him, my fellow Scot, you lot treated him awfully. So I hope that he goes and absolutely smashes it with West Ham.
Fingers crossed. Well, he is doing so far, isn't he? So yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Next one up is Martin Odegaard, Natalie.
So obviously the Arsenal.
Yeah, what do you think of him?
So I think I remember when he went on loan at the second half of last season. And I think like everybody, I was hugely impressed with the signing.
Yeah.
I can't say I watched a huge lot of Arsenal at the end of last season, but he didn't seem to tear it up. I mean, statistically, he only scored 1 goal and 2 assists in half a season. So you're looking at fantasy points. I mean, that's not going to get you anything, is it? Also, for only 0.22 million more, you can get Saka for Arsenal. If you want if Arsenal fans are wanting an Arsenal player, I would take Saka.
And I think with Odegaard coming in, I think that might alter how Saka plays as well for Arsenal. I think it is a decent signing getting Odegaard in for Arsenal. And at the age of 22, if you look at him, he is Norwegian captain. That's obviously a team with Erling Haaland in.
Yeah.
But like you say, I personally wouldn't put him or any other Arsenal player in my fantasy football squad at the moment. I mean, why would you? They're all over the place, aren't they? And then
do you know what? I'd love to see what the actual percentages are for the Arsenal players, because he's only on 0.16%, and I bet it's. It's not.
But why would you do it? You wouldn't. The rock bottom of the Premier League. Their next game.
They've got Norwich at home.
Exactly.
That's got to be a game to turn it round.
But it doesn't. It's not so much it's got to. It has to be, because I think that's a must-win for Arteta now, and I think it's strange to say that so early on. But you can't be doing anything other than beating Norwich at home. Arsenal fans will be on him if they don't get 3 points at the Emirates playing Norwich. Oh my word!
And then Burnley away as well. They've got to be thinking they've got to bounce back in those games. And
then Tottenham, they're going to have to sort out.
But that's a nice derby. Everything goes out the window. Win those next 3 games, and the first 3 will be forgotten. Well, they won't, but you know what I mean. Yeah.
Let's move on, shall we, now to Saul Niguez. This is a good one. I like this one, Natalie. I think it's a good signing again for Chelsea, but Chelsea are absolutely stacked in midfield.
In midfield, yeah. Is he going to play?
They've got Kante, they've got Kovacic, they've got Jorginho. But I think, to be fair, I think he's more than likely going to play as a number 8 and replace Kovacic. But still, even so, he's not going to play every game. And I think there's going to be cheaper starting options who will play week in, week out, like Ben Rama, for example, at West Ham, like Conor Gallagher, Damari Gray. So it's just whether you want to take the risk. I'm personally not going to take that risk. Would you?
I think he's a brilliant player, and obviously he was a real key to Atletico's, winning of the league last year. He's a great player, but when you read, I read some of the when he signed that he's been essentially promised that he can play in midfield. Tuchel said, and that's where we'll train you, we'll play you. And then you think, but their midfield is insane already. So yeah, then it starts to feel like a bit like a City midfield where you can't really. I mean, I've still got Gundogan, but it does feel a little bit like you never know who's going to play. So I think he's an incredible player, but it doesn't surprise me that only 0.15% of people have got him.
Yeah, it's a bit like Pep Roulette. That's what you're into. I mean, you just don't know.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure. I'm not going for him.
Right, so that is our ones to watch for this week. So players that have moved, who have come into the league or moved teams in the league as well. And to be fair, there's none really there other than Ronaldo, who obviously I'm never gonna sign because I'm still. Yeah, no,
fine. Can you tell I've got there now? Don't even try and persuade you. The first few weeks, I was like, yeah, no, come on, Natalie. And now I'm just like, yes, fine, yeah, you're not going to put him in.
I'm not going to put him in, fine. I've accepted. For me now, I want to finish in the top half of the league. I think that'll be an achievement.
Same.
Yeah. So let's have a little look. So I cannot wait. I want to talk through your overhaul.
Yes. My overhaul, you know what? I did it as much as just because I like tinkering around. Now I've got a front three of Jamie Vardy, Mohamed Salah, Cristiano Ronaldo. I mean, as a front three,
wow,
that's ridiculous, isn't it? But,
decent.
I changed elsewhere. I took Schmeichel out and I brought Mendy in for Chelsea just because I can just see Chelsea getting more clean sheets throughout the rest of the season.
How much more did that cost you?
You know what? I can't remember. It was a little bit more, but it wasn't as much as you think. I think it was only like 0.5 million.
Oh, okay.
And Mendy is currently scoring so many more points than Schmeichel, so I thought I might as well do it. I've also put a bit of West Ham magic in midfield with Ben Rama.
Same.
I took St. Maximin out and put Ben Rama in. And Ben Rama was £0.1 million cheaper than St. Maximin, which blew my mind. And also I've took the opportunity to have multiple captains. And my captains are tricky, really. I've got a player that plays on Saturday, Cristiano Ronaldo, and Bruno Fernandes.
Maybe plays on Saturday.
That's what I mean. So I don't know. So I don't know if I'm going to captain Bruno or Ronaldo on that one. And then on Sunday I've got Mohamed Salah, and on Monday I've got Damari Gray. So yeah, captains all around.
Yeah, because if you didn't know, if you weren't in on the very the minute details of the game as well, that you can pick a captain for each day that there is games. So pick a captain for the games that take place on Saturday, pick a captain for the Sunday games, and pick a captain for the Monday games. I've got Sanchez for Brighton in net because I had Schmeichel and City are playing Leicester at the weekend, and I think we'll score. So I've still got Diaz in my team because I think he's the best defender in the league. So and I think we'll keep a lot of clean sheets. Still got Alexander-Arnold Trent from Liverpool, still got him. And then I've got, who the heck have I brought in there? And then I've got Pinnock. I don't know why I brought him in from Brentford.
He's cheap, isn't he? I suppose he's
cheap. I
cheap.
didn't remember doing that. It must have just been because it was cheap. Because essentially, if you go to the front of my team, this is where the reasons will come in. I've got Antonio. I brought Antonio in, brought Salah in, brought Kane in.
Yeah. Oh, very good. Because you had Son last week, didn't you?
I had Son, so I sat for ages thinking Son or Kane, and I've gone back to Kane. So I mean, all my money's there in my front three, basically. Antonio's now 8.8, 11.9 for Salah, and 12 for Kane. And then my middle, I've stuck with Gundogan and Grealish. I've got Dallas from Leeds, and then I've got Ben Rama as well. I wonder if Ben Rama's like the most transferred in player.
I think he probably will. I just wish, and for his sake, this international break hadn't come now, because if you're in the type of form that he's in, you just want to play week in, week out, don't you, all the time? And it's just whether you see it often where there is an international break and then players struggle again to get that form back. But fingers crossed he will.
I think I'm going to have another look at that, though. I think you're right, before the actual deadline, which is Friday. I think I might have another look at it.
Yeah, watch out for them press conferences. See what managers are saying. see if they're hinting one way or the other, and then I'm going to tweak it right up until the deadline. But I'm pretty sure this is the team I'm going to stick with.
So I captained Antonio, captained Salah, and then for Monday, I think if I can, I will transfer somebody in. I need to check the rules so that I can do that.
Free might as well.
Just a reminder for everybody as well, the man of the match where you get your bonus points, that is selected by Sky. So we go with whoever Sky, we do. Sky go with whoever Sky pick for the Fantasy League, and that's where your man of the match points. And bonus points now. I love a bonus point. Shall we have a quick chat about those?
Yeah, you seem to get them a lot because you always have City players, don't you?
So we get loads and loads of passes. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, that's what it is, isn't it? You get bonus points for passing, bonus points for tackling, bonus points for shots on target, and if you're a goalkeeper, bonus points for shots saved as well. And they go up
and there's different tiers as well. So different tiers of passes and get you a different level of points. So bonus tier 1, so if your goalkeeper makes 3 saves, if a player gets 4 tackles, 60 passes completed, or 2 shots on target, they get a bonus 2. And then you get bonus tier points where tier 2, 5 saves gets you 3, 5 plus tackles, 70 plus passes, and 3 shots on target gets a player plus 3. So you can really rack up them
points.
Oh, yeah.
That's why we say with City, though, just to use City as an example, because their defence pass all over the place all the time.
Yeah.
Ferran Torres will pass all over the place. So Ferran Torres, was it last week, a week before? He didn't only just get you a goal and assist, he got you bonus points for passing. So you might as well put him in. He's in my team now for that reason, just because I want some of those passing bonus points.
And he got bonus points for shots on target, I think, as well. So
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
No wonder he was clocking them up there. Right, so that was a nice short episode, really, because it's not, like I say, we've international weekend. Are you looking forward to the weekend? Do you think your man's going to start? Are you going? Where are you watching it?
No, I'm not going. I didn't even bother looking at tickets, because I thought
it's $4,000.
Ridiculous. I just need to compose myself. I'm going to have to try and stream it somewhere and watch it. Although I think Sky have got it showing the full game later on, so I might watch it on there. Either way, I'm going to listen to it. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to see. He's going to drink it in. He's going to come on at some point, so I can't wait. I'm buzzing. I'm proper buzzing. It's like I'm counting down the days. And any time I see on social media where Ronaldo's in training gear at United or he's training, I'm just like, oh my God, I lose my head.
I was loving the picture of him in Ollie's office and the amount of memes that have been going on. He's standing there in his jeans and Ollie's like talking to him.
Yeah,
it's like caption, love it.
Yeah,
the amount of captions I was reading.
Yeah, I can't wait. Are you looking forward to it coming back?
I'm looking forward to the buzz of Ronaldo dying. I'm sick of talking about him. Obviously, I present a radio show in Manchester, and it's all people have talked about for weeks. I'm sick of it. Absolutely and utterly sick of Cristiano Ronaldo.
I think we'll be talking about it for a few more weeks, years, hopefully. Fingers crossed.
2 years.
Yeah.
2 years. Well, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for joining us for episode 5 of the Tactics Board. You can still join our league. Come on, join us. See if you can get higher than Karl and I. It is 997-6717. And best of luck with your picks this week, and best of luck with your overhauls as well. And we'll be back next week to see how our overhaul teams have done. If I get less points than I did the week before, Karl.
Fuming. We're quitting. We're not in next week if that happens. Sorry.